Hey guys, happy Friday. Hope everybody's having a good day out there. Hello, 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 and hello to everybody who already commented. Hello, Puerto Rico. Hello, Baby Yoda. I'm sorry, Mario. We will not be doing Baby Yoda this week. Doesn't mean he's not on the list, just means not yet. Hello, Germany. Pascal, it's great to hear that you got addicted to something as healthy as modeling in SketchUp. That's, of all the things out there you could get addicted to, I firmly believe that's the best one. Hello. Hola. Hope everybody's having a good Friday. It's I'm glad to have made it here. I'm not that there's a chance I wouldn't make it here, but I'm glad it's Friday. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. Hello, Austria and Australia. Ooh, I think I mispronounced Australia as Austria just now, but then the next comment came in was hello from Austria. So you saved me, Thomas. And I'm sorry, Will. From Utah, Hungary. Welcome back, Gamborg, over on Twitch, holding it down. Gamborg, you got to get more buddies over there on Twitch because you are one of two people watching on Twitch right now. YouTube and Facebook got Twitch solidly beat by like 20 times. Norway, how's it going? All right, we're gonna give everybody one more minute to get signed in and we will get in here and start modeling the burrow, not the donkey. I did, I say that jokingly, Gamborg, but I think I did see you post somewhere about watching this live stream, so that's pretty cool. Hungary, Russia, Canada. There it is, our SketchUp UN happening again. All right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to Friday Afternoons with SketchUp, our FAS club. Yeah, that sounds nice. That sounds real nice. With me today, as is getting to be a normal thing, is Casey. Welcome, Casey.
Hi, glad to be here again. It's always a good time hanging out with you guys on Friday.
It is. I mean, this is the best way to end the week, right? I mean,
oh, absolutely.
Short of a day off. I don't know. I might take this over day off because I find if I take Friday off, it means I'm either traveling or I've got other stuff to do that is not nearly as fun as hanging out here. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I'd rather hang out with you guys than have the day off of work. That's commitment. I'll just let that sink in for a second. I'm going to sit here and just stare at you. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's do some stuff. So welcome. If you haven't been here before, thanks for joining us. If you have been here, thanks for coming back. We are going to have a fun day today because we're going to model something. It's an architectural model, but unlike most architectural models, there's not a whole lot of straight lines in it. So the Burrow, which is the Weasley's homestead from the Harry Potter movies, is a very cool looking building, and it's going to be a lot of fun to get into. Before we dive in, though, a couple notes as usual, just to point out. One is I did create a topic on our forum. So if you go to forums.sketchup.com, live modeling the Burrow from Harry Potter. If we get to a point where you guys want to get me a picture, get me something like that, go ahead, put it on here. This is nice because I actually have this on the second monitor, which is over there. You can't see it. So I'll see if notes come in over there, files come in. But I also have it open here, so I can actually grab a file and pull it in or something like that. The other thing, yeah, that's right. Chris called it out. When I have a day off, I get bored. Yeah, because I really got nothing going on. You guys are all I have. This is it. This is all I got. I don't want to state it quite like that. That sounds pretty sad, Chris. I got other stuff I could do too, but this is more fun. All right. I want to do a quick shout out because I like to do every once in a while, not every once in a while, pretty regularly, we see some cool stuff being done with SketchUp. And a lot of times we put it on social or we do different ways of calling that out. But this is my opportunity. It's something that I personally really liked. And this came up, I had a coworker send it to me. and I just had to share this because it was so cool. This is on our forum. The locomotive 475.1 Noblewoman with Tender 3D printed by Mickey Mouse. That's actually his name. His username is MIKIMAUS. So kind of funny. McCall Bros, perhaps? I'm probably saying his name wrong, but this is the man. This is the guy. I don't actually know if this is a picture. You never know online. So I'm referring to this as a guy because he has a picture as his avatar, but maybe that's not true. So anyhow, Mickey Mouse posted this image, which is just, it is so awesome. This super highly detailed train right here was 3D printed. He 3D printed the whole thing from a SketchUp model. So he went into SketchUp, dialed in every single part in the model as a solid, 3D printed them all, assembled every bit of it. So here he actually talks about his time, 200 hours of drafting and 300 hours of 3D printing, more than 300 parts at 1 to 25 scale. And I think there's a couple more pictures down here. Just awesome, just an awesome, awesome model. So I had to give props to Mickey Mouse because, man, that is super cool. I'm not a train guy by any means. I know some people get into model trains. I like miniature stuff, but trains is something I've never personally gotten into. But this model, I mean, he has his model here, just beautiful. Look at the detail on there. Super cool. Cool job, good job, great job. If you're on, thumbs up to you, raise your hand so we can high five you. If you see this later, good job then. If you never see it, still, good job. But yeah, just had to do a shout out because that was a really cool model and it turned into a pretty amazing print.
That's gorgeous, man.
It's incredible. I mean,
I wouldn't know where to start with something
I
like that.
know. And 200 hours, I mean, I've done big models before. Not all of my work can be fit into 3 hours, just so you guys know. I do occasionally do stuff bigger or smaller than that. And I've done some big models. The Millennium Falcon was recently the biggest one that I did over the span of many months. I don't know how many hours it was, but man, 200 hours takes commitment. I'm wondering if he got into about 150 hours and like started questioning if it was really worth that last 50 hours.
They ended up with something amazing, though. It's just fantastic.
It is beautiful. And then 300 hours of printing. That's
dedication right there.
I mean, granted, a lot of times when you print, you hit print and walk away and come back, but still, that's a lot of filament, that's a lot of printer time, that's, like I said, yeah, that's commitment to a project there. All right, so having said all that, let's hop in, let's get the Burrow done. And I should point this out. So this came across, this was actually a suggestion we had last week, and we actually have had this suggestion before last week as well. So this is a recommendation that people have sent in a couple times, and we're getting to it. So we'd like to do the things you guys say. They don't always happen right away, but this is a cool one that people suggested, and we decided we would do it. But I have been saying Burrows, and my daughter, who's 14 and has read every Harry Potter book twice, I think, she might be on her third time through the series, she corrected me with a scowl. It's Burrow. So if I slip and say Burrows, please forgive me. That's to my daughter and to all you guys. I will try not to do that. All right. So I do have a couple. Well, I have one reference image that I'm going to use for this. Having a 3D mouse issue here. There we go. So I'm gonna take a look at that real quick. So I downloaded this plan, and this is kind of the reason I'm doing it is because of this plan. And I have to give full props to Matt Donnelly at mastersketchup.com because I actually saw he did a video using this image to talk about setting up reference images in SketchUp. So what he did was, and we have videos on this too, where you go in and take an image like this and clip it down inside of SketchUp and set up a reference cage with the four sides around. So I did want to, this is absolutely something that Matt did. He did. I don't think his video didn't go into the actual modeling. It was more just how to use this to set up a reference. So you can see, you can look at the different images as you move through the model. Very cool, awesome video. I don't know if Casey can find it. Maybe we can link to it. I put Casey on the spot there. He wasn't expecting to have to go look for that, but Master SketchUp did that, and very cool. So I didn't want to not give him credit for that because he did a good job. So this is what we're going to do. So this is what I was saying. This is what sold me on this, doing this model, is because of this image right here, because we have all four sides of this building. If we were doing this from like just a source image, it would be rough, because you can see there's so much stuff on here like this, almost on plane, but slightly askew. Same thing here, just slightly going back the other way. So everything is just, there are some horizontal planes, like right across here. This one goes all the way flat across. This doesn't, the roof doesn't, the ground doesn't either. You can see how it actually steps here. So it's gonna be fun. We're gonna make, I plan to make an enormous mess. I didn't bother going in and getting pictures of all the finish and that kind of stuff, because I assumed in a couple hours we'll get the initial geometry in here, start modeling some detail, but I didn't get too concerned about like getting photos to project or worry too much more about textures on this one, because I think in a couple hours we're going to get just a good set of solid geometry. I will take this and of course I will post it, and you guys can be in charge of putting materials on here, because I share. That's what I do. All right, so this got a little bit dark, so I actually opened it up in Photoshop and tried to make it a little bit brighter, but I don't know, because this is a photo of the image of the plans. It just got so dark over here, I was having a hard time cleaning it up, but I don't think that'll matter too much. I'm not going for architectural precision. We're not going to model this to a 16th of an inch. There are a couple of reference images here, 50 foot to the top. So we'll try to do this in approximate right size, but I'm not too terribly worried about getting it perfectly dialed in. So with that, we'll go ahead and hop in here. I've said this before, I do like Harry Potter, but I've never really been bit the way some people have. So if you guys throw some deep Harry Potter references at me, you'll have to forgive me if I sound like somebody's grandpa or something, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good idea, time turner, huh? Or whatever that thing was called. See, I already screwed up. I should just shut up. I'm sorry. All right, I'm gonna start by importing. So we're just gonna go in here. Let's get that file in here. And I'm just gonna grab the original one, the unadjusted. And I'm gonna throw it in here, scale it up somewhat. All right, and one of the things you do, if you're gonna use images as references, a good thing to do is always check your preferences. Preferences under SketchUp on Mac, it's under the Windows drop down on Windows, and go to OpenGL and make sure Use Maximum Texture Size is turned on. If I don't know if Dave is here, but Dave would point out that I should use Image Splitter, because what it will do is actually take big images and scale them up into higher res chunks as it imports, which I think is an awesome sounding thing, and I think it's totally something I should do, but I keep not doing it. Maybe that'll be my goal for this year. I'm gonna sit in front, I'm gonna commit, what do we got, like 200 something people. I'm saying to all of you, I'm gonna use Image Splitter in the year 2020. So come back around in December, make sure that's happened, okay guys? I'll put that on the calendar now. The stream that happens on the 20th of December will be Aaron using Image Splitter. Okay, so what I want to do in here, let's see how straight stuff is first. I'm going to come in here to this dimension. I'm going to pull this down. Okay, so I can already see I'm not very close to straight. Let's check the ground plane. Closer. All right, so what I'm going to do is, what's more important? Probably the ground is more important. So I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to draw a line like that. And now I'm going to grab just the image. I'm going to go into rotate, come down to this end, and pull that line up to that line. So you can see even there, so I'm on the line here, you can see how that line kind of bows down a little bit. So we don't have a perfectly orthogonal image. So this, like I said, this is obviously a picture that was taken of paper. So the paper is warping a little bit or moving, so it doesn't quite align to axes properly. So like this right here, if I bring this up, that's not going to be on axes no matter what I do. So I could, if it was real important, so one of the things about the Burrow or the Weasley house is that it's not straight. It's not perfect. It's not great. So I can use it to my advantage and not stress about that too much. If you really wanted to have it right, you can use tools like Photoshop or some other image tweaking software to get that stuff lined up better, but I'm not going to worry about it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of this, I'm going to make a group, I'm going to go into that group. I've done this a few dozen times now. I'm going to put a line from here to here, dimension, and I'm going to tell it that is 50 feet. Do you want to resize the group? Yes, I do. All right, and now I can get rid of these, and I can actually explode that group. All right, so now I have this image. Now what do I want to do? There's a couple different ways I could go. So I'm gonna kind of talk about, here we can use Mark as reference right now too. Let's go, if we set Mark right up here. He's facing me on the other side. Hey Mark, yeah, looks about the right size, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, bye Mark. All right, so what we're gonna do is similar to what Matt Donnelly did in his video, is set up what I would call a reference image cage. So we're going to actually create a bunch, we're going to split this image into a bunch of images and wrap them around our space so we can actually look at, from any given angle, what it should look like. So I'm going to do that by, first I'm going to explode this. When you first pull an image into SketchUp, it is kind of in a group. It has a surface and edges around it with the image on as basically as a texture map, but it's locked. It's not a normal group or component, it's something special, but if you want to edit it, you do have to explode it. So there, while it's exploded now, it's just a regular image with a texture on there. So I can come in here, I can grab this line and pull it over like this. I'll grab this line and pull it up to here. All right, like that. And now I'm going to grab that and make it a group. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to move it over. Did I do something off? I did. I'm rotated. Something's not on axes. Hold on. One moment, please. This looks like it's just off. No? Oh, it's this way. Whoops. I had no idea how I did that. All right, so is this vertical now? All right, it's too early for this. Undo, undo, lay it back down. Oh, of course. Sorry, stuff got dumb for a second there. I rotated this whole thing so the rectangle is not on plane anymore. I rotated to get that flat ground plane. So that's how it's gonna be, huh, Friday? All right, let's put that back up. I'm gonna redo all these things. All right. So to get a flat rectangle, I'm just gonna come onto the surface and I'm gonna draw a rectangle like that and get rid of everything outside of this. There we go. All right, and I'll take that and I'll put that in the corner right here. Now, see, Dave Richards is here. He comes in, says hi, and then what's his first question? Did you use large image splitter? No, Dave, but I did make a resolution that I'm sure you'll be happy to hold me to. And I said, in the year 2020, I'm going to use large image splitter. I'm realizing this is the perfect opportunity to do it, and I realize it when I sit down here. And you know my policy on learning how to use extensions for the first time live. It doesn't work out well for anybody. So, so I will be back. I will use it, I promise, but it will probably be later, at some point in the next calendar year. All right, so I made a copy once, and I'm going to type 3x because I want 3 copies. And what I'm going to do now is with each one of these are each groups. So I'm going to double click in here. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to say position texture. And I'm going to, you know what? As I'm doing this, I'm thinking I'm not going to do it this way. That would work, but what I really want to do is I want to keep everything in line horizontally. And there's no snaps in image, or maybe there is. If somebody knows a way to use image texture to snap, what I'll do instead is I'll come in here into the group, grab this, slide it over like this, grab this, slide over like this, and there we go. I got the next piece. And then I can just do that for all 3 sides. So I'll take this, option copy, and then I can come into this one, move this line over to this side, move this line over to this side, and then so basically recreating the plan. You see, I didn't, come back into this one. Try to go right in the middle of that bubble. Not because I have to, but because OCD is real. All right. And slide that over, and then one more time. So this is not precision. I totally just kind of winging this, but the important part is that I get one side of the house on each page. So this is going to come over like this, right about in the middle. All right, so now I have my 4 pieces that I want to use as reference. So what I'll do with that is take it, bye Joseph, take that and rotate it 90 degrees, grab these ones, rotate, right here, rotate 90 degrees, and rotate this one again. Ooh, how close am I going to be to being like? All right. So that's about my reference images. So there's a couple ways, just talking about how to set this up, there's a couple ways you can go about this. And like I said, Matt Donnelly did this and had some different ways to do it. You could set the visibility of each of these planes onto a separate layer and then assign scenes to it. So you jump to looking to here, jump to looking to here to line up this stuff. That would absolutely work. You could set up section planes. So I could set up a view here, the section plane here, turn one here, so I'm always looking into the cube. There are tricks you can do, like setting the back face of a surface to clear so you can see through. That's okay. The downside about that is if something's see-through, you can still select it. So that doesn't work real well for actually modeling so much as showing. What I'm going to do for mine, this is just my preference, is I'm going to grab this one right here, and I'm going to shift it back 50 feet, 50 inches, 50 feet, whatever it takes. Grab this one right here, go this way, 50 feet. Grab this one right here, 50 feet, and one more time right here, 50 feet. So I think that's going to give me enough space to come in here and model. We'll see though. We'll see how this works. All right. Hey, you know what I should do now? Starts with S and rhymes with shave.
I'm going to guess you're going to save.
Good call. Casey nailed it in the first try. All right. I'm going to save this as Burrow. Oh, I put an S on it. See? Burrow. Okay, so one of the things I didn't do as I moved all this stuff around is JDC AMC, nailed it. Starts with S, rhymes with shave. He said swim. Yup. One of the things I want to do here is I want to take this, and I do have to line up my pieces horizontally. So they're on the right face, but they don't align to anything. So I need to find some geometry that I can go to all four sides. And what I'm thinking is, as rickety and all over the place as the Burrow is, this chimney is straight up and down. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a rectangle right here, and I'm going to pull that shape out to this face right here. And now I can take that. Ooh, this is interesting. Maybe it's not, well, how, All right, so my ground plane's right here. If I go straight across. There's a significant discrepancy right here. Hold up. Let me pull this image back up. Huh. That's not quite flat. All right, now we're in real world where architecturals aren't perfect. It happens. Sorry, I didn't mean to ruin that for anybody.
Chat says it might be because of the distortion of the photo that got took.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm
So
thinking, is
slight
that it could
angle.
be something along those lines. So there's a couple things we could do here. The ground plane is close to lining up. Again, remember there was that distortion. So maybe I will check something else. Maybe I'll go like this. Oh man, nothing. just line up this thing where nothing's straight. What else can I see from both sides? What about this roof right here? All right, so I'm going to put a rectangle right here indicating this roof, and then I can pull that across to here just to check the vertical. So yeah, see, that vertical's significantly different. So right here it's about 10-foot difference. Wait, no, 10-inch. Here's about 8-inch difference. So I do think it's just scaled a little off. So I might just grab scale. Let's see what happens if I slide this down. Yeah, look at that. If I scale it down,
It gets a lot closer.
it's so close. Look at that. It's between 98 and 99%. So I'm going to say 0.98.5. 985. Oh. All right, try one more time. 0.985. 0.98.5. Oh, all right. So that's
There
pretty
we
good.
go.
All right. So now I'm going to take that image and I'm going to line it up as best I can this way. All right. So that's pretty close. That gets me some lined up pretty well. I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to start with this block right here for the top of the chimney. Like I said, that's kind of the piece that I see on both pieces. And I'll take that, slide it over. Man, same thing. Take that and I'm going to have to do the same thing over here. Let's see if it's the same. If I scale that down, 0.985. All right, so we're close. All right, so we're relatively close with our geometry. Good enough for what I need to do right now. So I was thinking of different ways to do this. Oh yeah, maybe it had something to do with rotating. I don't know. Like I said, we're good enough. Nope, no Dave method this time. We're modeling this to full size. So what I really wanted to do with this is do like full on, like conceptually modeling this thing. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to model this initially as a set of separate groups. So I'm going to make one piece and then model another piece. By putting it in groups, I'm going to be able to maintain the axes for that chunk of geometry. So when I have a piece like this one that's just slightly off, I'll be able to draw like this window in plane with this because I'll be able to take my axes and move my axes over too, rather than having to reference everything all the time. So I'm going to see how that works. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure how this is all going to turn out, which is, that's all part of the fun. All right, so first thing I'm thinking about drawing is this ground plane, because I gotta have something to start with. So if I look at it on this side, it goes down to 0. No, that's on this side it goes down to 0, and on this side it kind of goes like that. So let's see, let's pull this out this way and this way. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Full transparency. All right, so this one, hold up, back up. Okay, so that angles all the way up too. All right. So if we were drawing this plane, this would push back to right here. This plane goes higher, so this would push back to right there. This is going to push back to there, and one more. This is going to push back to, where's my ground? Oh, there it is. Right there. All right, so that is the rectangle that I want to see, something along those lines. I'm going to use that. Okay. I'm not 100% sure how to emulate the twistiness of what's going on here. So I'm gonna get a little, things could get a little weird right now. So this side, it looks like goes like that. That goes from the tall side down. This side over here actually goes up a little bit high. So if I take this along the green axes, see, that actually goes up to there. I promise we won't spend the whole time just drawing the foundation. Some of the actual blocks of the house are a lot easier than this. So that actually goes up high, so that's going to come up more like that. And I think that's the normal, and then it has a little flat section right here. And take that across. Come along the red axes till here. So this looks something like that, and then this goes up like that. Which means this side is high too. Yep. So this side goes across. So what I can do right now is from back here, I can actually hold down Shift to hold on the green axes, then use the reference image to say it's flat to here, and then again, I have a flat section from here to here. Something like that. So that's going to come up like that. And then over here, say that goes to the corner. And then one more side. Ooh, this looks like just a nice gentle curve all the way. Oh, keeping it simple for me. Thank you. Thank you, Hollywood. All right. So get rid of this, and then I just want to kind of start tying this geometry together. Maybe something like that. And then like that.
The problem with trying to do something like this is it's meant to be using magic as part of its architecture, which is not a native function in SketchUp.
Alas, it's true. But look at this. This is pretty magical. There we go. I landscaped. Okay. So I'm going to grab that and make that triple click and make that my first group. And yeah, I could have actually, Dave points out, I could have used autofold. I could have kept my solid there, drawn my breaking lines in, and used autofold to move the lines. That would have worked also. I did a little scorched shirt there, deleted everything, and then just put that up. That would have absolutely would have worked. Okay, so what I want now is I want something akin to a rectangle. So I'm going to start with this right here. I'm going to take that rectangle now, and I'm going to move it out to that line right there, and I'm going to push pull it across to that line right there. No, that did not quite go far enough across. Actually, that's going to push pull to right about there. All right, so that's an initial setup for this box on the bottom. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with some basic geometry first, and then kind of work some of these distortions in as I work my way up. I think I want to get my initial massing in here first. So I'm going to pull this up symmetrical to start with. Just how big is that roughly? It's about 2.5 feet, give or take. So come this way, go up this way. So that is where I should take this and offset to in order to get a block in the middle that's about 2.5 feet. And then I can, that wasn't quite right. Oop. On scale from the center, make it a little bit bigger. And I'm just going to connect the corners together. Again, right now. Oh, but I got to overhang. So actually, before I do that, I'm going to offset this out to just, you know, like there. And then I'll pull this vertically up to, not much. I just need a little bit of something, a little bit of depth there, something like that. Okay. Cool. I don't want this to be, this is not going to be buildable. We've already talked about that. But we'll try to have a little bit of reality in this magic house. All right, so I'm going to take this now, and I'm just going to move it vertically, and again, use one of my pictures as reference. I want to bring it up to about that height. Cool. And I'm going to push-pull this. I'm just going to arbitrarily pull it up because it's going to bury itself into the next mass. So I can pull it back and clean it up. We can make this, try to make this all one solid by the time we're done. But for right now, this is my first block of the house. So I'm going to grab all that, make it a group, and then I'm going to save.
That's always a good call.
If you take away nothing else, save. Save often, save even more often. All right, so there's going to be details on there. So we got this little shed, this little pop out here, little shed roof here. That'll all happen, but I'm going to keep working my way up this building. All right, so right here we have an interesting situation because I got a line going this way. The first thing I'm curious of is if this line is parallel to that line. Yeah, it more or less is. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw, again, just a reference box over here. And run that long, and then I'm going to pull this one up parallel like that. I'm going to, here, so I want that to go through to right about here. So I'm going to push pull that, drag it to right here. Yeah, so that is a pretty narrow gap there. That looks like what we got going here. That's cool. And then the face of that box is going to push-pull back to, I need to put a reference. So push-pull is kind of interesting because it doesn't, you guys may have already hit this, it doesn't snap the same as everything else. Stuff doesn't quite always, so I can't snap onto the image for some reason. So that's why I've been doing this where I'll just click and draw a line across the axes. Then when I push pull, I can just snap to that line like that. All right, so there we go. That's that block sticking out. I do want to think for just a second. I know, it's never a good sign. Because what I'm thinking about is if this face is right here, I'm building this inverted, right? Does that make sense? So if I look at this, if I look here, I should be modeling this. If I look here, I should be modeling this. Looking here, should model this. Looking here, should model this. Right? Is that right? Is that correct?
It looks right to me. Just a quick visual inspection.
I'm worried that I'm modeling it like inverted. So if I look at it here, I'm seeing this. So this face is modeled right here. Same thing here, this face is modeled right here. I feel good about that. This piece would come out right here. For some reason, looking at it this way, I'm a little confused, like I think I have this backwards. These two need to flip this way, right? Is that what I'm seeing?
Chat says yes, no, and maybe.
Thanks, guys. Oh, so it's either I'm right or I'm wrong, or no, this is correct. Yes, so on this side is where this chunk is going to come up like this. So that is looking at this. So it is backwards, but it's okay because it's still going to get me the correct thing, I think. My concern is the tilt, the lean. Is that going to be? They were a cage. I took the same picture and I went like this around the original box. So I'm kind of feeling like the image, these two need to go backwards. You know what? Actually, why don't I just go here? All right, so I took it and I took this image. So as you see it on your screen, I took this image and then I grabbed this one and I folded it this way and it went around like that. That was wrong. I did that incorrectly. It should have folded the other way. So yes, these two pictures are backwards. Sometimes I just get so excited to model, you guys. So the question is, I can't just flip them, I actually have to spin them. So if I don't know if this is going to work. Never stopped me from doing something before though, huh? If I do that, no, that's wrong. Because this right here, oh no, that's right. So as I look at it, if I look at it this way, oh man. Tell you what, I've said this before, but some Fridays are just a little more Friday than other Fridays.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, so I'm going to do something like, all right, so I'm going to pull this through right here. Ooh, dang, that was close. I'm not gonna go all the way through like that though. All right, so hold back here. This actually comes out to here. And then I will pull this in here. So now I have reference. Now I have an indicator on this side. So as I look at this, yes, I'm seeing this. As I'm looking at this, I'm seeing this, which is now reversed because I spun it around. If I'm looking at this, I see this mass on this side and this coming out this side. Okay. That will not be the first time or the last time my excitement to model things has potentially put everything I'm trying to do in danger. All right. Yeah. So I set my cage up so they're readable from the inside. So as being readable from the inside, what I actually created, JDCAMC, I don't know if there's probably a way to pronounce that, is pointing out that what you'd really want is if I looked at the outside, the names readable from here would show what I'm looking at. What I was actually creating was something thinking this, where if I turned on X-ray and then I put my camera to parallel projection, I could actually, so if I go, grab, and I'll grab this. Do I have a surface? Yeah. Where if I looked at it straight on like this, I would be looking at the same thing. That was actually kind of my intention there. So not to look at it from the outside and have that all lined up. It doesn't really matter. Either way would actually work. You just have to make sure you pull the imagery from the proper side, that was my whole problem, is that was not what I was doing. I was doing something different than that. All right, so this thing right here, I'm gonna make it a group right now, and I'm just gonna come in here. I'm gonna flip along the red axes. No, flip along. Man, again, law of averages says I should get that right occasionally. So if I look at this, I'm looking at that surface. This is what I should see here. All right, cool. All right, so I can go a little further with this piece because right here, it looks like these walls continue on through. So I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna pick a point right here and pull that across to there. Ooh, like that. Whoa, hey, what are the odds of that? I don't think I actually hit the surface, but I came pretty close. All right, so I'm gonna say that's right here, straight across the red axes, pull it across the green axes, because it does look like in most places other than the ground, the floor is fairly flat, so I'm gonna assume that wizards, despite using magic, do like to have their feet on flat ground. All right, so I'm gonna go in context, take this line over on the red axes, draw a line straight across to cut, and pull that out to this snapping point. All right. So now I got that thing going on. I'm going to put the roof on it right now because I want to. That's why I'm going to do that. All right, so I'm going to grab not all of it. I'm just going to grab these three sides and do an offset to give me a little bit of an overhang. Again, I'm not stressing out too much about those details. And pull that up to give myself a little bit of depth. And then what I'm going to do right now, that's kind of cool. All right, so this does look like a symmetric, yeah, Dave's pointing out that I should probably look at the plan view as well. Is that a hint that I should do that as in I did something wrong already? Or is that it might help me out kind of thing? I believe either case. All right, let's do this real quick. Let's pull this over. So if we look at the section cuts, oh man, this is angled too. Nothing straight in this building. That's what I signed up for, though, I guess.
That's how it's going to be interesting.
I changed my mind. I want to model a modern townhome. No, this is actually a higher section that goes above, because I think what I'm looking at right now, yeah, see, this is the roof. So this is this roof up here. This is the section I'm working on right now. So it is move to the side. But the nice thing is if I look at this, so I'm using this as my little guiding point, that little entryway roof. That's right here in the front. And this needs to now turn this way. I'm still going to put the roof on first and then, well, what will I do? So what we're looking at here, I thought this was two stacked roofs. This is actually the roof line twisting back. So look at this. This face right here is still correct. This right here is right. And then what happens is as it goes back this way, it goes back to, is that vertical? Let's see. Let's check right here. That is. Ooh, that makes it significantly easier. So as I come back here, I actually end up with a vertical plane running down like that. All right, so I'm going to come bring that out like this. I'll just draw the whole plane just for fun. So what's going to happen is it starts out here. That's pretty close. So I'm going to say something. All right, I'm going to explode this. I'm going to try to work in my main context for everything I can. So I'm going to get rid of that. I'll add the roof on top afterwards. It's still going to be a flat surface on the roof, so I don't have to really worry about trying to maintain that. It's actually making more work. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say this comes straight up like this. Like that. And I'm going to mirror that using that reference, that inference to this line right here. Come through like that. And push that straight. No, I can't push it straight down, because it's not going to be a straight plane. It's straight on the end, but it's not straight all the way down. So I'm going to draw a straight line down here. Just for right now, I'm going to do this. All right, so what I need to do now is back here, I got to go parallel to this line. Like, oh, come on, come back. So that face is right. Now I can come to this line right here, and I can go parallel to that line and take that. Here, I need to hide that. I'll grab that line and go parallel down to here. Oops, didn't quite get there. Go this line. Third try. Sometimes the fourth try is a charm. All right, and then doing some subtractive sculpting right now, cutting chunks off. Ooh. Ooh. All right. Then this piece goes across like that. And that's, no, it doesn't. What happens here? What in the world is happening? All right, so if this was to continue down, straight down, came across, that would meet like that. Oh, but this is where the, oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to make stuff square. I apologize. Things aren't square. All right, so what we got here, I'm going to use a command that I almost never use because I never really seem to have a good reason to do it. And that is the rotated rectangle. So I'm going to create, it is a parallelogram, you're right. So this side is straight. This is what we got right now. This side is flat. That's awesome. This side is tilted this way. We've maintained that. This side over here, again, square. I feel good enough with this to leave this like this. This side right here, though, actually tilts out. So what happens is it goes from here to here like that. So I have to maintain that face along, yeah, just bigger. So what I did was by putting that cutting plane down there, or by drawing that line there, I got a surface, and then I just snapped a rectangle to it. So now, should be able to, note that that line was not on. All right, so if I go to this point right here and go parallel to this line, draw the burrow. It'll be fun. It'll be a good time. Well, we can enjoy ourselves. Is that right? No, that's parallel again. No, is it? This is 9, 9 1/4. This is 9, 9 1/4 if I look at it from the front. Okay, I kind of buy that. Right? No, I don't buy that. No, it's not. What? Everything I believed was a lie. Because this line here, oh man. Oh. What about that plane? Will that plane work it out for us? No, that's the same plane I'm already on. Okay, if I come straight down, I don't know what I'm doing at all anymore. It's all just a horrible, horrible mess. Okay, so that plane's gonna come out this way. I need to do this piecemeal. I'm trying to do everything at once. So I'm gonna come up, I'm gonna draw an extension on this plane right here. So that is the end. But what happens is because it twists, this is what I gotta figure out in my brain. I can't just take that straight down. I have to do something more like make a group and then take this corner, turn it towards that corner, and then oh, if you came to learn something, I feel for you. So yeah, exactly. That line goes over there and that line goes here out to a thing. All right. This is why 3D visualization is so important. All right, I think I have a couple of the issues I'm running into sorted. That's there. This line right here is all the way in here. That's, okay. All right, this is my problem. I'm trying to get back to this original point which I have, which I don't really know where that is. So that is what's going to come down to here. Something. And I'm going to continue this line straight down just so I can get a box. come back and cut that in from the other side after I get the rest of this stuff sorted. There we go. So that is the twist that happens in that face. Something along those lines. I mean, that's not the cut I'll leave, but that is kind of what I think is happening there. Some days it's just easier to brain than other days. If I cut it this way, it bulges out. But I don't think I can get a single plane across all 4 points like that. I do have this point as being variable though. So I could pull that out more, but I don't think that's not the stuff. That's not what I'm looking for. So if I was to erase that face, that's pretty obviously not perfect. Just curious what that ends up looking like. Okay, that kind of gets the twist I'm looking for. If I go parallel to this, I'm afraid if I follow that, like, if I try to make an actual like parallelogram rectangle kind of shape, I think it's going to be so far out. Yeah, see that? I lost this vertical place where it cuts back. That's a little too extreme. Okay, I do know. So what I want to do is, yeah, I've gone too far. Greg's got me all figured out. I've gone too far. I'm trying to think of how to get a pleasant single surface across there without bringing this out, because I know where this point is. I feel like this point's in the wrong spot too. But I think that's because this should be, no, I know what I did wrong. When I spun those two images, I didn't reline them up horizontally, so everything I'm doing is like nothing, and none of it matters. So if I grab this point right here and I move this image, oh, I guess it wasn't that far off after all. All right, never mind. Forget everything I said. Everything is actually bad. All right, so if I grab this point, all right, so there, that goes. So I'm really just trying to get this wireframe sorted, and then connecting it back up with faces afterwards is going to be kind of, this is where I say something dumb that gets me in trouble. I want to say that'll be arbitrary, but nothing has been so far. All right, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to follow that face down to here. We should go back and look on chat and see who it was that came up with this idea to do this. Oops. All right, I'm feeling better. I'm feeling better now. We're coming back. We're coming back around. This is going to be good. This is going to be solid stuff. All right. So there is that side. Now over here on this side, again, I don't know if we can't make that an in plane because it actually does, it rotates out of plane. So what I can do is something like this. I could actually loft this together. That may actually be the best way to do this because I want a gradual thing there to get that twist, because I think that's what we're missing in this. So if I look at it from above, that top piece is what that looks like. This gets me this view right here. It's also going to give me my side views. but that actually does twist. And that's something that's twisting geometry like that's hard to show in a plan. I don't think if I come look through any of my sections, yeah, I'm seeing the foundation. This is a higher level. This is the roof. I think this is that change in footprint right there. So I'm not seeing that gradual. So I'm going to try this. Yeah, Nathan, I was thinking that, but it doesn't look that way. The left and the right are different because I think, well, I'll give it a shot.
So close.
Yeah, but it doesn't twist back to vertical. See right here, this roof is running back because it ends up vertical right here. So this is cool because I get to try some stuff. So I'm going to grab these 4 lines and we'll try just lofting this thing real quick. It's going to be a real simple loft, but I'll go in here. Fredo 6, I will grab curve loft and just loft this thing. No. Here, we'll get rid of. See what that looks like. Ooh, I don't like that at all. Try that.
Chat suggests writing this one down for the shootout in 3D Basecamp.
Burrows, you have 4 hours. Go. Burrow. Sorry, did it again. All right, let me try grabbing these 3 lines and loft based on that. I think that's gonna, and then, that's weird. Yeah. Just want to look at this one real quick. I'm okay with that. It's not perfect, but I'm going to take it. I'm going to explode that. And we're going to move forward. Okay, so back to what I was doing on the roof half an hour ago. I'll take these 3 lines. I'm going to offset those to get my overhang lines. And then I will just, I'll just pull that up. Just give myself a little bit of something just like I did before. And then come up here, kill that off, kill that. No extra geometry where I can help it. And then this is where it's going to get funky because I'm going to draw a line from midpoint to midpoint. And then what is this dimension? 5, 4, and an 1/8. So I'm going to bring a line up here, 5'4" and 1/8. And then from that point, I'm going to draw a line back here and back here. I'm going to get twisted geometry here also. But now I'm going to give me my ridge point, grab this line, move it vertically up to here. Because that's twisted, I'm not getting a single plane here. I'm actually getting 2 planes. I'll have to come back and smooth that. But there we go. That is a very twisted roof right there. And Command S. Thank you, Toby. Thank you. I'm sorry, I can't read your name. Karsten called out stitching on this side. And I don't know if you're saying that because you know me or if that is the way you would have gone to, but that was my first thought, was to break the top and the bottom into 10 pieces and just go like that and then soften the whole thing. That was my knee-jerk response, but this turned out pretty cool. All right, so we do have, I don't know if you guys remember, but we do have this cutout to deal with because wizard architects just can't keep anything simple. And this is where those two cuts are. It's not going to be as simple as push-pulling, of course, because I have no perpendicular lines anywhere. So I'm going to use these two lines, come out here like this, and I'm going to draw a rectangle between those 2 points. And that should be, that's where everything should cut. I could have made solids, but this is so small and simple that my initial thought is just to do that. Grab these right here, reverse their faces, then grab all of this, intersect face with selection, and then delete, delete. Just clean that out a little bit. Something along those lines. Of course, you know, as always, there is so many different ways we could have done that, but that is the way I did do that. And I don't know what's happening right here. All right. So there we go. That's that thing. Grab that, make that into a group. Let's go unhide everything. All right, so we're working our way up. That's looking, it's really looking like something. All right, so over here, we have another tower coming up, which is also not straight.
Oh boy.
Surprise! This tower looks like kind of butts up against this tower. So let's take a look at how that works out. So it looks like I have a beam right here. I think that's this beam right here. And see in this view how I have it turned like that? That means this face is not actually flat to me. That is actually turned away. So I've learned from that last one to pay attention to things like these. So I will actually want to make sure that when I pull this out, I get it first off turned back the way it's supposed to, away from flat. So same thing here, I can see that face turned back this way. It looks like then that has a little bit of a skew this way. So it's not square again, it's at some weird angle. So let's do something. I'm going to start my something with some lines. I can see right here, you can actually see right here that it does the same thing where it twists back to maybe vertical over here. Right, so I'm going to start with that face like that. I'm going to pull that through. So now there's two spots I'm going to pull it through. This far side is going to come through this far. And then the other side is going to stop right here. So if I take that back to here, and then what's the best way to do this? Because I could rotate it. I think I'll probably try to start with this. Let's see if this works. So I can just draw these lines. This seems the simplest way because I'm going to get the least deformation. I love rotate. I use it a lot, but rotating is guaranteeing stuff's going to get deformed. All right, so that is something. I'm going to take that mass and I'm going to have it stop at this face right here for now. Part of me wants to just say that's good enough to be done, but I know that's not good enough. Let me look over here again. So this is what that looks like. Can't even keep it simple. We got to put a little jog in there too. All right, so if I look at what I got, I flip it around like this. All right, so that looks pretty good. It's like right in about the middle is where that jog is. So I'm going to temporarily, or maybe permanently, we'll see. Actually, I should be able to see that on this page, right? Yeah, okay, there it is right there. See that? That's where, this is the chimney. This is where it comes back to the wall. So I'm going to come back this way till, long green line. Oh, so the other one, that's where I'm at now. So that means this one, this side is actually going to come out about there. I'm going to draw, start with vertical, knowing that I'll probably end up deleting it and redrawing later. All right, so there we go. Something like that. Yeah, this comes out bigger on this side. It comes almost to, and there, look at that right there. See that? I'm actually in plane. At some point, I'm having a hard time seeing where these sections are, but at some point it looks like these are actually parallel. So let's say that was right here. Oh man. I'm gonna be sick. So that definitely does come back. So I think I want to do something like, what the heck is this thing? I gotta get this back on the screen. What's going on here? Why do we have to have that? Who approved that? Oh, that's a big old deck coming out. And that does look like it's parallel to this. So we want this to come back and this to be parallel to this face. So what would that look like if I just had a parallel face? I gotta call Matt and ask him if this was as painful for him as it seemed to be for me, because he modeled it all off screen, but this is rough. All right, so where does that go? All right, I'm gonna do, is that right? No, because it doesn't come out far enough. All right, so I'm gonna say it goes from here to how's that look? I should pull a dimension off of here. Pull a dimension. Like how I say that like it's like a real thing. Go grab a dimension off of this fairy tale impossible to exist in the real world monstrosity. Ooh, that was pretty close. Okay. So yeah, so there. Something like that. I'm going to hide this right now because that flickering is distracting me. And then this is going to go like this. Is anybody buying what I'm selling right now? It's not that same line, is it? That is. All right. Something like that. That's my second floor twist. Yeah, somebody asked about having plans to model along. If you Google Harry Potter Burrow plans, there's one image that comes up. It comes up like 10 times on the first list on Google. So if you guys want to try this, I got no pride. You guys come up with a better solution. Sweet. Come in here and let's loft this thing again. I'll do the same way I did it last time. That's something. Okay. Stuff is coming together. I can pull this back down. Okay, Nathan Edwards buys what I'm selling here, so we're good. We're good. All right, so this is flat. The roof is flat. This is flat. This is vertical, or I mean square to this face, and then it slopes out. All right. Woo! All right, so here's where we're at. The one thing that I feel like, oh, so this is like sitting on wood or timber, as some may call it, right down to here. So that's this gap right here. Cool. We'll deal with that at some point. I want to get a roof on here. Roof. I've been called out for the way I say that word as well. So if you don't like it, I apologize. A roof. You know what I should get on here is the chimney. Let me just throw, oh, so this, oh. Yeah, good thing I did just arbitrarily run that thing up there, huh? Okay, so something along those lines is what's happening now. And now, ooh, sorry, apologize, not trying to make anybody sick. So now I got this deck thing happening right here. Gonna draw a line for, actually here, I'm gonna draw a rectangle indicating this is the bottom of the deck. So that's it's gonna sit something like that. It's gonna turn, it's gonna be more angled than that, but that's how far it's gonna come out. Push this. There. This line I'm going to make parallel to this line down here, like that. Something like that. Okay. Yeah, I'm talking to myself. No problem with that. This looks like it dies off into the roof. Like that. It's not parallel, of course. Well, yeah. It actually does look like it's parallel to this. So it looks like it is parallel to that one side. So it is going to be cocked to the one side like that. So I'm going to take this right here. I'll just draw a line. I'll just do that. And then I can just chop off some of this. No, I shouldn't do that because I'll just pull this down. I don't want to chop anything off yet because I can't guarantee anything that's here is going to stay. Oops! Guess who forgot to group? Okay, I guess this is all part of the same group now. It's been officially decided just now. Yeah, that's how I'm going to make it. All right. Oh. All right, so let's make that a group. There is our deck. Actually, I don't want that in a group just yet because I want to mess with more things. So I can see that this face should come back to there. It's bothering my sense of design that I got this little, and I know what model I'm working on right now, and the idea that it should be design satisfying, whatever, but I really want this chimney to fit in here, you know? But it straight up doesn't. This is not here, so let it go, let it go. Okay, so yeah, so there's the deck right there on top of the roof. There we go, okay. Oh, all right, so then I've got more or less a hip roof here, a full hip. So the roof is I'm going to temporarily put these lines in here, and then I'm going to take these out again, get my little overhang there, give myself a little bit of depth on that overhang. And I'm modeling this as though this were all part of it, and then I will chop it off later. Okay. Like this. And when you model a real roof, like something that's going to get built in the real world, of course, you want to be a little more precise in this, but for what we're doing, this is what this roof does. I have to figure out where that goes up to. It buries itself in here, but if I draw a line like this and draw another line like that, I can find this is the point that I should pull up to.
I was wondering when it was going to happen. We have our first question about your mouse, or at least the first one that I've seen. It's a 3D space mouse. It's pretty nice.
It is. It's a Space Mouse Enterprise from a company called 3D Connection. And I always throw this disclaimer out. It is absolutely not a requirement. You don't have to have a Space Mouse to run SketchUp. I find that for presentation purposes, to show people what I'm doing in SketchUp, it's a pretty nice option to have. So that's why I use it.
I just posted a link in chat. You can check out their website if you're interested in getting one.
All right, so I'm going to draw this box like that, and then I'm going to turn this off real quick, hide that, grab all that, intersect face with selection, and now I can get rid of, like I said, this is modeled off of a full peaked roof, and that cut actually comes out of all of it. Like, that's what I saw anyhow.
We've got a question from Facebook. What was the tool you used to create the warped surface so quickly?
That was Curvaloft. It is an extension from Fredo 6. It is available on the Sketchucation website.
Yeah, he does incredible work
It's
with extensions.
Nuts. Yeah, he's crazy in the best possible way. I mean, the stuff that he thinks to add, it's awesome.
And the way he can add it is really interesting too.
Yeah. Oh, man. See, here's the problem now. I'm looking at so many curves now, everything looks like it's skewed. It turns out this is perfectly planar, but I was ready for it to be off at some weird angle. I don't trust anything anymore. All right, so that's going to come out to here. So pull that out to here. front of the back is going to come out to shift here. And then it does look like, all right, so I'm going to do this one a little bit different. So this is where it looks like the whole thing kind of racks backwards. So I'm going to grab this surface and I'm going to move it just along the red axes to here. It doesn't look like it quite lines up perfectly with that. So, yeah, something's a little bit off. I'm gonna move it. There we go. And then that has a little pitched roof on there. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just take this again, offset. I need a extension to do this. Can anybody, who's out there in Extensionville that wants to make Aaron's overhang creator? We'll just take a surface, offset it, pull it up into a solid face like that, because I do that anytime I'm drawing any kind of building, it seems like. I mean, I'm sure if you made it, it would just be, everybody'd love it. Well, I would. I don't know. They'd all, the rest of them would come along at some point. All right, I'm going to take this. I'm going to do a little bit more detail on this because that's why. Oh, nothing simple. I was trying to push-pull, but that surface is not parallel to anything. Of course it's not. But I think what I might do is just grab this face, option copy that, slap it over here, and then just get rid of this. If I draw this down the peak, it's going to close that up. So that's a solid up there. And now all I have to do is select these 3 lines around the edge, move those vertically to where it meets, and then you're going to take this straight up. Because it'll be the middle point, and straight above there. All right. I think those are the big pieces. It's time to start working our way back down with a detail. This is a cool little oh, let's Command S. All right. Looks like everything's in the right spot.
Right, we've got a question from chat about what tool is placing the 4 drawings at the 2 axes, and I believe you did that manually, just using import and then the rotate tool.
That's right.
The move tool, of course.
I am that tool. Ugh, love me a good tool joke. Yeah, that was just manually placed. I pulled in an image and I broke the image into 4 pieces and just manually placed them about the edge. It seems like that's one of those things that seems simple enough that I wouldn't be surprised if someone somewhere made an extension for that. I don't know it, but it seems like it could exist. Right? Okay. So this is one of the things that you may yikes. All right. You may run into that is, and this is one of the reasons that I'm actually modeling specifically the way I am, bringing the current piece out of context, is because I do lose my reference images when I do that. So that's where I'm clicking in to pick each of those. So what I'm looking at now is how do I want to make these pieces that are sticking out if I go this way and then I can actually draw a line perpendicular to that like that, draw this line parallel to this line, and then I have this surface I can pull out so I can get 90-degree cuts on the end. Yeah, that's easy enough. Pull that out. Okay. So that is this right here, and that helps me determine where this roof comes down to. This is going to get ugly because what's going to happen is, based on this picture, basically this piece right here has to come down and meet this down here. So what I'm going to do, I don't know what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do to start with. I'll draw a line like that and a line like that. That's going to give me a separate surface right here that I'm going to use kind of as a sandbox. I think what I want to do is have this actually go like that. And over here, it kind of comes down, and then this actually goes up even higher, it looks like. So where is this point? Woo! That's way up there. Okay, so that means that is where that goes up to. All right, so that's going to continue on like that. So what I want to do is I want to run around the building and create a new ridge line. And then I'm going to take my existing geometry and use the points to snap to the new ridge line. I don't want to go in and redraw everything again. That's too much work. So I want to come out here. That'll go there. That'll go straight across like that. And then see where this one comes up to. All right, so that's about the standard. So that's what have I done? How did I do that? Was anybody watching me? Did anybody see what I did? Okay. No, I don't know.
We've got a question from someone on Facebook as to what model of Mac you're using.
This is a MacBook Pro 2015. Okay, then this side comes over and I draw this line and this line. I'm going to use a DBO push line to grab that line and bring it straight through on the green axes. So that is where my roof line is going to go to. So this line is going to come down to like that. Oy. Push this back here. Get this in line with my fascia. That is what's going to run up to here. It's going to run across here. And on this side, I'm going to say go back to, do normal at the top or at the bottom? At the bottom, like All right, and no. So these are going to be flat sections. This is a flat section. Over here, a little bit of a droop. That's obviously not lined up. So I'm going to say, I'm going to come down just a touch like that. And then on this side, just kind of come back up, and then it's flat across. Okay. Whew. All right, so I'm going to hide this to get it out of the way. And I'm going to hide this to get it out of the way. And now I'm going to come in here. So this is flat. This is flat. I'll push this back up. Whoops. Push this back up here. And now I'm going to turn on, sorry, I know that was a lot of not talking and just clicking things. I apologize, but I had to get some reference lines in there so I knew what I was going to do next. I still don't really know what I'm going to do next, but a thing is going to happen and stuff is going to, I don't know, something's going to something though. We'll, that's for sure. All right, so there's a line. All right, so what I'm thinking is this section right here, this needs to come down. I think what I'm going to do, I don't know how this is going to turn out. I'm going to break my face like that, and now I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to drop it straight down. The vertical, and bring it down to there. And that's going to deform, this is done. So that came down, comes back up. It auto-folded under here, that's fine, because I'll just Alt-erase to smooth that. That looks good. Over here, I'm going to break at this point, and then I'm going to run this break back up to here. And same thing over here. This corner just kind of dips down. So I'm going in first, and I'm telling the geometry where I want to break it, and then I'm grabbing the existing geometry, in this case the corner, and I'm just going to move it vertically. I do have to constrain. I'm going to hit the up arrow to constrain vertically and have that droop down like that. And again, I can come under here and then just Alt-erase these extra lines to smooth that out. And then same thing, I can do the same thing up here. I can Alt-erase there, erase here. Oh, that's on the outside of the group. That's why it's not going away. I am slowly working my way over here because this is going to be the messiest piece right here. So I'm going to leave that for last. Same thing here. So here is the line. This one's going to be a little different because I'll do the same thing though. I'll break right there, and then I will break right there, break right there. And I do have to break this top piece, so I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to run it up to the chimney, which is kind of tying all together. And I do this one at a time. So grab just that line and move it vertically down to here. And then since this one's at a different spot, I got to separately move that one vertically to right there. All right. Use Alt-eraser, smooth those lines. And actually, this is still in plane, so I can actually delete that one. And then this is the final one. This one has to go all the way up to here. So this is going to get weird because the other thing I want to do is I want the wall to follow it up also. Because if you look over here, well, I'll do that separate. No, I'm going to pull it up right now. So if I go, what I want to do is I want to move this line up so it meets up here, but also bring the top of the wall. The top of the wall is just a point, so if I use move right now with nothing selected, I can grab the top of that wall and move it wherever I want. But I can't move a point, I can't shift select a point, I can't grab this point and this surface. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to come draw a little line right on top of there. Then I can select this line, and now I can move those together on the vertical axes to bring that up. All right, and now a little more smoothing. So I'm going to Alt erase here, here. And I can straight up erase these lines because they're still in plane. Which got me a little worried. I don't like that anything's in plane. I feel like everything should be way messier than that. All right, so we'll exit out, and I can triple click to get, oops, this line. That's all the reference line I drew around there, and I can just delete that. All right, so there we go. That's the not so nice edge going all the way around the roof there. So this is one of the things that's happening here is this doesn't just raise up, it actually kicks out like that. So I have to figure out, is it on both sides? No, of course not. So this side, it straightens up by the time it gets here. So that means, oh, because look at this, there's something breaking this right here. So we're going to have this, I'm going to pick a spot. All right, let's see how far out is this. Like a laser. I'm shooting lasers around on here. All right, so right here. So I'm going to come into this group, and at this point I'm going to break it and then grab that piece and angle it out. Oh, of course I can't see my reference line then. That doesn't work very well. I actually have a shortcut map to this, but my shortcut names aren't showing on my mouse right now for some reason. I don't know. It's a weird problem. I don't know what's going on. All right, so like that. And now I'm thinking if I just grab this point and I pull it over, it's going to be weird. Here, let me do this for right now. And I'm going to pull this line this way a little bit. And I will unhide the rest of the model because I don't know exactly how far out. Yeah, this is just all kind of, oh, look at that though. You can see where it returns back. So I have this coming this way, and it does cut back. So I have the same things I had upstairs on the main floor right here. So here is where it comes back to. So I think what I really have to do is grab this line right here, move it horizontally, all right, I like, it's a terrible mess right now, but give me a second. Something like that. Let's see. Yeah, because then here's that triangle of that wall going back. Okay, so I'm going to grab that. I'm going to do a little more, little sculpting right there. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to use loft again. I'm going to actually, I drew that in a bunch of segments right there. I don't want, that's not what I want. Hold up, deleted everything a little too quick there. All right. There we go. That's where that is. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I posed a question to them. What is the one thing you see new SketchUp users do that you want to tell them not to do? I actually asked a bunch of different people this question, and I got all kinds of good answers. Quick release, click rather than click and drag. That was a big one. But the one that I heard that I really liked the most was, don't be afraid. And I really like that because it's amazing how often when teaching somebody something, we'll say something like, click on this button. Well, why? What's going to happen? And getting questions like that. And in software, when you're learning software, whatever 3D modeling software, drawing software, word processor, most of the time, you're a Command Z from undoing any mistakes you make. So it's funny to me because it's true. If you teach software, if you've ever taught any software, you've probably run into that person who is afraid to go ahead and just do the thing because they're worried about what's going to happen. It's a thing you shouldn't have to worry about. You shouldn't have to, especially, like I said, especially when you're learning software, because, man, software is just, it's unlike life. Life you don't get an undo. You also get no extra lives. There's some things about things that happen in videos and video games that would be pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna
just sort of coming back around to that topic. On most modern operating systems, there's nothing you can type on your computer that will ruin everything. At worst, you'll lose some data, but that's it. That you're not going to break the hardware, and you can just set it up and try again.
Just go for it.
Yeah. So your whole "don't be afraid" thing rings very true to me.
It's fine. I'm not picking on anybody, but thought I just ruined everything there for a sec. I'm not picking on people, but I've done quite a bit of training at this point for lots of different software, and I've just always run into people who are. Well, here's an interesting thing that I have learned. That is that children are much easier to teach than adults. I'm sorry, legally I am obligated to refer to myself as an adult as well, but when you go up to a kid and you try to teach him something, you say, "Hey, do me a favor, grab that mouse button and click on this button." He'll go, "Okay," and he'll click on it, and then he'll go, "Ooh, this happened," or "Why did I do that?" And that is so much easier way to learn than what we do as adults, because when adults are starting to learn something, there's just a natural distrust, I guess. And again, I'm not trying to pick on anybody because it happens to all of us, where it's like, click on this and you go, why? What's going to happen? Why would I do that? What's the purpose for that? What are my other options? And it immediately becomes like this thing where Sorry, I gotta stop and think for a second. Where adults they can't just, go with it. It's kind of funny. So yeah, it's a lot. I think there's something in our brains that stops after a certain age where we stop accepting things. I don't know if it's cynicism. I don't know. I'm not really sure what it is that happens, but yeah, kids learn stuff so much easier than adults.
I also find when I'm working with students as part of Project Spectrum, that they're not afraid of being wrong about something. They will raise their hand and they'll ask that question that they know is stupid, but they're going to ask it anyways because they need the answer. Which
is awesome. I think
I agree. It's a good thing.
I always said in my classes there are no stupid questions, only stupid people. And that would get a chuckle, but really, the stupid people are the ones who won't ask the question.
Indeed. the kids aren't afraid to be wrong. They'll just ask the question.
Yeah.
I admire that about them, because I have a fear of being wrong and then being thought of as an idiot, really.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think that's kind of what we all do, is we get to a point where we're adults and we're afraid of being looked at as not knowing what we're doing, or especially in professional situations, I think
Oh, absolutely.
there's this drive to always be right and always get things perfect. And man, I feel like if you can accept that that's not real, you're probably in a lot better spot. All right. So I know I'm doing a little bit of a freeform sculpting here, so I'm probably making a little bit of a mess inside, but this is getting me to where I want to be. All right, so there's my little shed roof right there. I probably I actually should have saved myself a lot of time there and modeled that separately and just stuck it in. Maybe I'll do that on this side. Actually, now that I've done it, let's pull it out here and see how bad this really looks. Oh, that's not terrible. I've done worse. All right. Because I actually need this on both sides, I'm going to stick it, just copy it exactly as it is, and stick it on the other side. I'm just going to do this. The extension I'm using right now is a DBO push line, Adebio. I don't know how you say the name, but it's a super simple extension, and all it does is grab a line and make it so you can use it just like push-pull would, which is pretty sweet. All right, like that, and I'm going to take that straight up. Yeah. How are things going in the chat? Sorry, I didn't mean to. I feel like I got distracted ever since I ranted about learning, and hopefully I didn't lose anybody.
Things are looking good. We're getting a call to save, but that's nothing new.
Yeah, I know. Consider myself a 3D modeling superhero, and save is my nemesis. I don't really consider myself any kind of superhero. That was totally a joke. Just to use the term nemesis. Nemesis is one of those words that I don't think we use in the professional world, that we probably should get back in the habit of using.
Yeah, it's a good word.
It is.
It's very satisfying.
Of course, it's also quite negative, so maybe that's why we don't use it too much.
Fair enough.
All right, so I'm going to grab that, make it a group, and I'm going to slide that right back into there, and then I'm going to pull it just out past there. All right. I'm going to take that and make a copy on the other side. Oops, use an option. And I'm going to bring it over. I'm going to be silly right now and assume that those are supposed to line up. So I'm going to just use that first one to reference where the second one goes, and then slide it back. So again, just like I just did, up against here, and then just pull it out just a touch. There we go. So there's those two window boxes. Again, I'm trying to incrementally add detail, so I'm not going to spend a bunch of time putting the mullions and stuff into the windows. I want to try to get my mass forms in there and keep working my way up. That's only 2 o'clock. We got so much time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's see what's going on here. Oh, we got another. So a question came in, why am I doing them in groups like this? The real reason, this kind of has proved out already, is that there are so many odd angles that if I was working in just one mass of sticky geometry, I'd be in a lot of pain right now. So this way, as I'm working my way up as separate pieces, I can just overlap them and then come back afterwards and join these solid groups back together. And I do think for the most part, well, I'm not, actually have not been watching real well, but let's see why this isn't solid. Fix, solid. That one's solid. That one's solid. Solid. Ooh, that one's already solid. So yeah, so I'm doing pretty good here. So I should be able to, when I'm done, use solid tools, union or outer shell to actually make all this stuff come together. That will be satisfying. All right, so I really don't have the detail on this entryway to know exactly how it works, so I'm going to make this up a little bit. And that's what I have here. I do have some framing comes out right here, and I have some posts dropping down. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to put like some pieces in here, have them drop down to the ground, and then put this little frame thing up here. I'm going to do that in context. Here, I'll do this like this. Put a rectangle like that. Pull that out like that. I grab this right now. Put it right here. Put that right there. Are you much of a Harry Potter fan yourself, Casey?
I have read all the books, and I've been to Universal Studios, and that was one of my favorite sections at Universal, just because of all the interactivity and detail they put into it.
Yeah, don't you end up with like wands and you can click on stuff or?
Yep. If you buy a wand there as a souvenir, you can pay $5 extra, and they'll give you one that has these abilities to interact with various props in the shop windows and trigger
cool.
various things around the park, which is pretty cool.
That's very cool.
So I wouldn't call myself a mega fan, but I would definitely say that I am a fan of Harry Potter. It's a neat series.
It is. It's definitely, and it's still going. It's not going quite as well as it was. I don't think the last movie was quite as well received, I don't think, as previously, but it's definitely still very popular.
Yeah. The Wizarding World of Harry Potter actually was designed in SketchUp. I got to meet the architect who did the Hogwarts Castle at 3D Basecamp once.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he did the whole thing in SketchUp.
That's awesome.
So SketchUp and Harry Potter go back a long ways, I suppose. And I gotta say, he did a great job. Some of the rides there are incredible.
Yeah, that is. I have not been, but I've heard nothing but awesome things. All right, so I'm gonna break that like that, and then I'm gonna use Solid Inspector to delete those pieces off the inside.
We've got a request for a lesson about rendering someday.
I would love that. Would you do that for me? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make fun of Muhammad, but Muhammad Ali. Oh, I thought your name was really Muhammad. Fell for that one. I will totally confess that I am not much of a renderer. It is something that has always kind of been on my list as something I needed to get into, but just still not really something I've gotten to yet.
I'm decent at it, but I'm not great. I've messed with a few different rendering programs, Twilight, Lumion, and the new one from Epic that I can never remember what it's called. But there are some really good renderers out there, and it's always been on my list to learn how to use one really well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can do some basic renders with them, but not anything photorealistic.
Yeah, that's, I think, kind of where I've been using Thea Render for a while, which is, it's a great renderer. the reason I like it so much is because it'll take SketchUp's world light, the sun, and it will, woo! Just throwing some details on here. Whoops, came out too much. It'll take that world light that we have, and it will use that to make as the light in the render, which is really cool because it's simple. You don't have to add other lights or anything like that.
Yeah, that's a good function. I wish more renderers would support that.
Yeah, but that's unfortunately, it's handicapped me because I have not learned nearly as much as I probably could or should about rendering in general. All right, over here, I'm just going to grab this and I'm going to draw this. Oh, of course it's not straight. I know, broken record. All right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go like that, and then I'm going to grab this line and slide it over and put a little roof on here. But yeah, so to answer your question, we've had quite a few requests for rendering, and the reason we haven't gotten into it is multiple reasons. One is we generally, with the exception of maybe a few extensions, we try to show our own product here, and we don't have a rendering engine. And the second thing is the rendering I have done ends up being a whole lot of waiting, which, not super exciting. So it's kind of the main reasons.
You can kind of bypass that if you use a real-time renderer, but those are a little expensive and hard to get to work on a MacBook.
For sure.
They tend to require a full tower PC in order to really function effectively. I would know. I have one at home that runs rendering programs really well, but it's not exactly what you call lightweight.
All right, we'll take that now. Cool, it's all coming together. All right, this is actually the part that I've been kind of excited about doing. That's this super janky framing that's holding up the second floor right here. I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna draw part of this as, so the one thing they have here is there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 10 or 11 joists basically exposed under here. So what I'm going to do, and of course, once again, nothing's parallel. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to offset this that much. I'm going to take both these lines then, run them well long like that. I'm going to grab these lines, I'm going to take them, option copy. Oh man, that's painful because of that. Janky, you say? Okay. So, whoops. Man, that's rough. I always thought that was going to be fun and easy, but it's not. It's not going to be fun or easy. Let's bring this down about halfway. Bring that one down too. All right, so now what I got to do, I'm laughing at my pain. I'll bring this in like this. Push this through to here. I don't need that magic wand now. All right, I'm trying to think of how to best do this. I almost want to do this as some kind of a radial array, but I don't see an easy way to figure out where or how that would go on here. Hey, yeah, hold on. I'm processing right now. All right, I'm gonna take this and make that a group. Okay, and then I'm gonna take, all right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this line, I can't do that, so I have to do this. All right, so I'm gonna take this line between those two joists, I'm gonna right click, and I'm gonna divide that into 9 segments. I'm gonna grab this line right here. I can't use this line because this line's actually broken, because remember that jog in that top section? So I can't use that line. I'm gonna use this line, I just drew a little line in front of it. I'm going to divide that also into 9 segments. And then what I can do then is I can actually come through here and I can hook those 9 pieces together, and that's going to account for, I don't know, I may be totally off. My geometry might be too dumb at this point, too far from what was originally intended, but I don't know, I'm going with what I got. So I'm going to take this now, I'm going to go from here, option, to here, and what I can do is these will be evenly spaced all the way along, so I should be able to say 9x. Nope, they're not evenly spaced because I'm going out of plane. I'm sorry, I lied. That is totally not true because they're not, because nothing's straight. So I'm just going to option copy this over 9 times, and then what I will do is, okay, so now I think what I could do is I can grab this right here and move it oh, what's that? This is going to ruin my entire plan. Why is that broken right there? Oh. I had a plan. But because what happened to my geometry? All right, slide that back even further. Grab that. All right, now it's going to let me bring that out. New plan. Get rid of all of these. I'm going to take this one. I had a break in the edge there, so it was only letting me put that piece, move the face back a certain amount, and that was ruining my day. So this is going to work better. There we go. So now what I can do is I can come into each of these, grab this face, move it to that next point, and this will give me a real nice fan. So what I could have done, I thought this was going to be quicker, now it's probably debatable, is I could have traced where these two perpendicular lines would have gone back to and met, and used that as a central point for a fan to put these pieces in. This isn't painful, but this works too. There we go. Cool.
All right, that's looking good.
Yeah. All right, so now I do want to grab all these, and I'm going to explode them because I want them to be part of my full. So now what I have is like this beam underneath here. So I'm going to use my rotated rectangle again. See, if I try to just draw a rectangle right now, a flat rectangle. I'm going to get up underneath here. If I try to draw a flat rectangle between these 2 points, I'm going to get this. This is exactly where rotated rectangle comes into play. Because what I want to do is I want to create something parallel to that line. So what I'll do is rotated rectangle, I go get flat underneath here, and then go to, stop being silly, get that point, and that point, and now, nope, hold up. Oi, I'm having a hard time with zooming right now. You guys probably picked up on that because you're smart. So I'm gonna go. All right, change of plans. I'm gonna grab this line and I'm gonna copy it to right here. And I'm gonna connect the ends together. And that's how I'm gonna make a rectangle. Oh, dang it, oh, that'll still work. All right, then we'll push that through like that. Maybe bring it down a little more. All right, so there is that beam underneath. And now I got two, let me bring it down a little more. We need that to be structurally sound after all. I got two beams, or two columns on this end that kind of post down to the middle of the roof here. So it's something like from here to here, and then another one from here back to about there. And then same thing over here. Something like that. Okay, so there's a couple ways I could think to do this. I want to do this the easiest way possible. And so what I'm thinking is make a small square on the ground. Maybe I'll do 4x4. And then I'm going to pull it up long like this and make it a group. Then, let's see, I'm going to grab that by this corner right here. I'm going to put this right there. And now I'm just going to use rotate. So I'm going to come in here, rotate it this way, like that. And then I'm going to come over here, rotate it this way, like that. And there we go. That's the easiest way I could think of to do that. So if this was exact, if these pieces posting down were exact, this is exactly where I needed them, then I would probably go into that line and create a surface perpendicular to the end of the line and then do a push-pull down it. But since I'm, you know, kind of not really worried about reality, this is a much easier way to do that. Put it back like this, and then I'm going to do this, option rotate to get another one back here like that. And these are both running long, and I know that. And then I'll come up here, and then on the red axis, I'll swing it this way, and there we go. Looks cool. I'll grab this one, option copy that over here. I'm going to scoot it. I'm going to move it so that, whoa, this corner lines up with this corner. And then same thing. I'm not snapping to the face to rotate either. I'm actually going to force it to go on the red axis by hitting the arrow key. And then I will tip it back like that. And then come over here, green axis, and bring it forward like that. And then again, once more, I'll come right here, get on the green axis, option copy this one back like that, come in here to the end, red axis to throw that thing back like that. All right. So with that, I'm going to turn on X-ray and get rid of my extra lines here. Whoops, too much. And then the other thing I want to do is come in here and make sure that I bury all of these into the roof. A little more. So they're not sticking out like that. All right, the rest of them look like they're good.
It's looking really good.
Do this. Thank you. Yeah, if all else fails, I got a potential job as a wizarding contractor. Make this work. Can I bury that? No, nope. Get back there. All right. Because it's got to look good, of course. All right, so working our way up. That was a part that stuck out to me when I first saw the image. I'm like, ooh, that's going to be fun. All right, we got another little window box right here. I'm going to grab this again. Make a copy. Rotate it. And we're going to throw it right up here. This is, I realize, there's some things that are going to have to change here. So I got to get it in plane with this face. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it so that this corner contacts the face. And with it still selected, I can switch to rotate, snap to blue axes, and then I can go slide over here to grab, there's the green axes, and pull the green axes out to this face. Then I can just scoot it out like that. And this whole thing, it does come out a little ways, right? How far out does it? Yeah, it sticks out quite a bit. So go ahead and slide that out like that. It looks like it actually does frame down underneath there too, so we'll add that. But it does also need to be shifted parallel to this. So I'm going to save. There's a couple ways that I could do something like that. If I was to come in here and grab everything on the top like that and just slide it along the red axes, that actually might be good enough in this case. So it is going to deform. So see, you have these breaks here. So I might have to come in here and Alt erase to clean that up. But I think for what we're doing, that's good enough. I was thinking about using another Fredo tool because he has a thing where I can box or deform stuff like that. But I think for this one, that would be good enough. Where are we at? Okay. I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to do something like this, which I'm going to option pull down, push it back like that. And then for these braces that kick back like this, I think what I'm going to do, here we go. Let's go hide the rest of the model real quick. I think what I want to do is something like this. Come on the back and I'm going to draw a shape like this, two of them. And then I'm going to push-pull it out. When I push-pull, I'm not going to just normal push-pull. That's going to give me this. I'm going to hit Option and push-pull because that creates a whole new surface. And the important thing, what I'm going to do is I want this right here to break. I'll do the same thing here, Option and double-click to push-pull. And then I'm going to grab these two squares on the end and move them vertically like that. And that's going to give us those braces. Looks like they need to go down a little bit more. So they're still selected even though I clicked out. So I should be, no, they're not selected anymore because I'm out of the group, of course. Pull those down vertically. So they are deforming slightly, but I think we've already established that that's pretty much okay on the Weasley household. All right, so I'm going to grab all of that then, and I'm going to slide it straight down like that. Okay.
It looks great.
It is coming along. All right, still working my way up on these major details. I got, on this side, I got a little balcony popping out, and on this side, I have, is that an air conditioning unit? I don't know what that is. We got a thing. Let me look over here. No, over here. All right, so I got a big old window coming out of this side. I'm going to start with this same, actually, I'm going to grab this one and recycle this. So I'm going to grab it by this point right here. Nope, I'm going to grab it by this point right here, option copy to right here. And then just like I did before, I'm going to go to flat, I'm going to rotate, I'm going to turn on X-ray so I can grab this face and bring it around. A lot of people have a hotkey for X-ray. I don't seem to spend enough time in X-ray to justify it, but maybe I should, because that seems to be pretty helpful. All right. And then I'm going to take that and I'm going to rotate it so it's closer to being in plane. Whoop. Like that. And this window box is definitely bigger than this window box. So I'm going to grab it, I'm going to move it up because it looks like it's a floor up. And the roof's also different. It looks like I have like a, no, maybe not. I'm honestly, I'm struggling. Okay, there's the roof. They just have some weird window things going on here. But I'm not doing windows, so I'm not worried about it. Ha! All right, oops, I forgot we did that. So I don't really need that in this one. So I can go back a little closer to straight. And then I'm going to take that and I'm just going to move it up. All right, there we go. And actually it's wider too. See that? It fills up almost this whole wall. So I'm going to turn rest of model back on. Ooh. I'm going to grab all of this, slide it over this way, and then all of this and slide it over this way. Okay, cool. Yeah, a little discussion in the comments on YouTube going on about shortcut keys. Shortcut keys are the way. That is, there's really nothing you can do for yourself. If you don't already use shortcut keys, there's nothing you can do for yourself that will be better or more helpful in the long run than learning to use shortcut keys. All right, so I'm going to grab some geometry over here. Pull that out like that. And then those, surprise, have this little leg kicking back here. So I'm going to go grab both of these. I'm going to pull that down like that. So one of the things you guys saw on this other one right here was it did deform and get kind of skinny as I pulled it back. So in this case, I actually made more of a rectangle shape than a square shape. And then I can take those, and when I scoot them back, they'll still deform. But when they deform, they end up more as square. So you can plan ahead to remedy some of that stuff. Is this, I wonder if this is on any plan. I'm I wonder if this is this like a round balcony or square? I can't tell, so I'm going to make it just a rectangular box coming out of here. And I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to save myself a little bit of time by modeling this all together. So draw one rectangle across the top, another one at the bottom. I'll come all the way across like that, divide that by 3, and then I'll pull this out, that, come out like that far. And then come out to here. To here, out to here. And for this guardrail, I'm going to put a little bit of a curve on here. We're trying to model quick, but we're not total savages. Wouldn't want to short the Weasleys on that. All right. And now I'm going to put a little rectangle back here. There we go. And there's that. Draw a circle right there. All right, like that, and go copy that over here. Then I'll take this one, put that right here. Option copy that over to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 by 7. Sure, that looks great. All right. Each of those down here like this. Well, this looks like this may be OSHA approved. These are fairly close together. Yeah, that's gonna work. I'm gonna grab all that, make it a group, and then I'm gonna grab it by this center point that's flush against the wall right there. Bring it over here, because flush is not gonna be a thing we gotta worry about once we get over here, but I'll take that there, and then we'll just slide this. We'll slide this on the green axis till it's in the wall, and now I can come and do a little bit of cleanup. I can get rid of this. I do want these to end up as solid, so I do have to get rid of some of that kind of stuff. Pull this out a little bit further. All right, and let's see, orient faces. I do have some stuff going on here, so I tend to manually erase these kinds of things. You can use extensions like cleanup to do it, and if there's a lot, that would definitely be where I'd go. But with a small thing like that, it's not too big a deal to clean that up. My bigger concern is this right here. For whatever reason, my circles are split in half, and they're not joining on one side. I don't know why that is. Interesting. Let's see what happens if I grab all of them. Nope, that's not gonna work. I'll just grab one. I know, I'm not gonna spend too much time on this, I promise. If I pull it up and then drop it back. Whoa, that's being weird. Did that join? It did. Okay, so yeah, something prevented these from joining there.
Very strange.
It is, and it's only half of the circle, so that's super odd. Look, see, it's stuck to the back half, but the front half isn't. I I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know why that happens. But I do know that if I spend the next 20 minutes troubleshooting, it's not going to make any difference. So here's what I'm going to do. I just noticed that when I just deleted this line that's breaking it for whatever reason, then I could actually grab this, move it. No, whoa, okay. Stuff just got even weirder.
Now we're getting some real weirdness here.
Stupid wizard house.
It's
All right.
cool though.
I'm just gonna.
I gotta admit, we're ending up with something that's really neat.
It is something. Yeah, so generally if I have a surface like this that doesn't weld together, yeah, there we go. So you can just pick it up and then drop it back down, snap to the face. It still didn't snap. It still didn't weld. Huh. Oh. Something's broken over here. All right.
Yeah, we can come back to
I'm doing it again. I'm getting lost. Slow down. Just get back to work. You need a whip you can crack over there, Casey. Get to work. All right. Right here. Let's go in and finish this deck off. Got a couple more boxes around here, but the core geometry is we're getting close. All right. I'm going to come in here. It looks like what we got is a column at the midpoint, a column at the corner. Same thing over here, going up. All right. So I'm going to grab this surface right here. I'm going to copy it vertically up to about there. That's what will make our roof. Actually, no, I'll just go ahead and put a little bit of depth on it right now. It looks like it was just a simple gable roof, so just grab that, take that vertically. Not quite square, but that's okay. All right. Not quite square is kind of the name of the game on this one.
Agreed.
All right, so now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put a rectangle. That's where I'm not square from. I'm going to draw this a little bit bigger than what I want to actually draw, because it's going to lap inside like that. And then I'm going to come in and draw another square using that square snap line like that. That's going to give me a square that I can use to create that post right there. And I'm going to grab it before I do anything else. Option, copy it along this length to the middle-ish, like that. And then it's hard to tell how many of these I got. I'm going to take
Excuse me.
both of these then. Okay, so I'm not going to bother putting one back there. Just going to take this one. All right, so now I want this to go both up and down. So I'm going to start by grabbing this one and option copying to create a new surface. And I'll take that one down in, whoops, something's not right. Okay, we're going to go down like that and then figure out what's going on in a second. Option copy that down, and then I can take this one. Actually, I'll reverse it first. Reverse faces, and then just pull that up until it hits that surface. Pull that up until it hits that surface. So what happened here? What did I did wrong? Of course, I think that this deck just needs to be smaller. So what I'll do is I'll come in here and I will grab, let's see, how to do this. I'm going to grab this, all of this, and this face right here, and I'm going to scoot it in like, what's stretching with me? Okay, I'm not going to grab this face. I'm just going to grab these columns, slide them in like that. And then I will push-pull this. No, I can't push pull because that's part of the problem. I'm going to draw a line right here parallel to this line. There we go. Then we'll drop that down. If you can't push pull one direction, there's a chance you might be able to push pull in different. We happen to have a straight surface over there. All right, and I'll bring these up to there. All right, and this one I'll take up to the roof. All right, and now I need a little railing here. I'm going to draw this out of context because it's going to be a bunch of pieces, and it's going to get weird pretty quick because again, nothing is in plane. So I pull this straight across, it ends up over here. But if I grab that, I can move those pieces to there. Grab all of that, option copy it straight up. And I'm going to do this up to here. Take that guy, option to here, divide that by 9, 7. That works. All right, grab all of that then, make that a group, and then I can move a copy option to here. It's not going to be right. I know that it's not going to be right, but while it's in the group, I'm going to deform it. So I'm going to say scale, pull it, whoops, wrong one, wrong handle. Pull it back to here, and then, let's see, I'll rotate it like that, and then scale it again so it goes into the face, boom. All right, and then I can take that one and move it over here, and I'll just do the same thing. I'll scale it and pull that back into the wall. And then one more time, whoa, getting dizzy. All right, one more time, and pull that over here. I'm gonna start by rotating, before I do anything else, I'm just gonna rotate it 90 degrees. I don't think I'm at 90 degrees, but it'll be a start. And then I will grab, I do want it to be at the same height. So I'll try to be conscious of that. Like that. And because I made these groups, I have made a single component, you guys might have noticed. That is not on accident. That is totally intentional. I didn't really plan on having any repeating geometry. I figure if anything happened to repeat, it's good. But like in this one, I'll just grab these two, delete them, then I can come in here and right there, push that back. No, I'll have to trace that all the way around and delete it. Just trace where it intersects. Whoops, that's not right. All right, cool. Then get rid of everything that runs into the column, select and delete. And there's that piece. Coming back down over here, we have some weird stuff because I see things popping out over here. All right, so as I look at it here, it looks like this is another window box right here with a much shallower roof. That's easy to do. I cannot tell what this thing is. It looks like it's just a triangular window poking out. Likewise, this right here I'm struggling with. it looks like it's just a big window box. All right, so I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do those things. Neither of these have framing underneath it, so I'm gonna grab this one right here, and I'm gonna grab it by a point like that, option copy it, and stick it right here for right now. Just gonna come over a little bit, it's real close to the edge like that, and then I'll rotate it on this face so that it sticks out like that. And then I'll take the whole thing just as it is without changing anything else and just make it taller. Not that tall, too tall. I don't know why I hit that button. That was not the thing I was looking for at all. So it's more like that. It's hard to tell. So that's that, but here it looks like it comes out. Oh no, that's this. Yes? No? I don't know. What we got over here? Oh yeah, it looks like it does come out quite a bit. Actually, it looks like it's square too. Undo, undo, undo. Let's pull that out like this. And then go into it. Rather than scaling it, I'm just going to push this roof straight up. All right, that looks more like what we got going on there. Actually, pull it out a little more. I'm just going to use scale to deform it, stretch it out. Because let's be honest, at this point, deformation, whatever, no problem. There's no
Very
rules
true.
anymore. There's no rules.
Very, very true.
And this thing, like I said, I feel like we're looking at a right, or not necessarily right angle, because you know, right angles, but it feels like something's kind of coming out like this. So rather than have a square box that we've had, I feel like we're getting it. Actually, that may be what's happening here too. Here, I'm going to look at let's look down from above and see if it is, look at that, right there and right here. Ooh, and right here. So these three windows are all actually the angle, the 90-ish degrees. So after that, we're just going to get rid of it. And I'm going to do this. Draw a rectangle on the ground. Draw a square on the ground. And I'm going to pull it up. And I'm going to make a group. And then I'm going to rotate it 45 degrees. Grab it by this corner right here. Stick it right there. And I'm going to move it back into the wall like that. Use scale to bring the bottom up to about there. Slide over this way. That looks good, but it does look like it needs to lean out a little bit. Command S. Good call, good call. And there he's got me. All right, I want to try tilt it out a little bit and just see what happens. All right. I think that'll work. Just moving geometry around. All right, I'm going to grab that one and I want to make this next window right here. So I'm just going to grab it, option copy it up to here. And now I can use scale again because I'm not messing with components on this particular model. I can make it pretty easy to deform this stuff. All right, so that's something like that. And then we got one more sticking out right here on the back. This one ends up being a little different because it does look like it has some framing underneath it. It almost looks like there's a little roof on there, but no, there's not. All right, this one's also deformed quite a bit. Pull this back to square-ish. Oh, that's not square-ish. That's squarish-ish. All right, and I'm going to rotate it back like. So a lot of times when I end up doing these kind of deformations, I don't end up using snapping because it's just a little too odd. So I'm going to bring my handle way out here away from where I can snap, and then I can choose how far into the building I want to push that. So I'm going to come just so it disappears into the face. All right, and this is going to, I'm actually going to slide it back a little bit more. All right, so it's just about in the center. It is a little bit longer, so I'm going to bring it down like that. It's bigger than this window over here. And it is, so I'm pretty close to actually being in the right direction here, but the tops and bottoms are back to being flat. So what I'll do is, I'm trying to think of how to do this without being totally destructive. Actually, here's what I'll do. I'll take this whole thing and bring it back to flat on the green axes. This is gonna be way easier. And then I'll just come in here, grab that bottom surface, and slide it over. Something got a little weird there. Hold on. Oh, because I rotated, I wasn't moving it on the world green axes. I was moving it, or red axes, I was moving on this axis, so pushed in rather than just moving straight across. So what I can do is, if I want to just move just that bottom, rather than using the axes, I can use a line. So I'm going to use this line up here and slide it according to that line like that. There we go. So now we got that. And it looks like it has some kind of framing coming down. Looks like it might just be one. I don't know. I can't see it on there. Is that it right there? Oh, these plans, man. You don't get anything if you can't tell me where that is. So you're done. All right. So what's this and this? I feel like there's not enough decoration right here. This looks like another triangular window, a la the one on the other side. And this looks like just a regular bump out, just a box sticking out. I'm not intersecting with model intentionally. I don't intend to irk you. I apologize for irking. Because I'm still moving so much stuff around. I don't really feel good about where a lot of this stuff is just yet. So I do plan to come back. What time are we at right now? We're at 2:51, so I'm gonna model for 10 more minutes and then we'll go do cleanup. We will intersect with model. I'll get rid of these white lines. We'll have nice black lines and hopefully one big solid. But I'm not quite to that point where I want to commit just yet. Good question though. It is a good question because you're right. It doesn't look nice right now. Not nice enough.
We'll get there.
That's right.
Very soon.
Stuff will happen. I'm going to flatten, just flatten the roof out on this piece. There we go. And then I'm going to take this guy right here, I copy him over green axes. All right, get that out more like that. Nope, that was right before. We just need to move it out. And we do want to rotate that to flat. Maybe. It looks like it's flat in the one profile, but let's see how that looks. Yeah, I don't think you can have it square, and no, I think it was right before it is tilted back right like that. And this one is not, that's flat there. Okay, anything on the ground that we need to get in here? We got that thing. I know, like I said before, we didn't do the actual windows on here, but I was just trying to get the big geometry. We'll merge this down into one piece, and then using offset to tie windows together, that should be much easier. All right, so that, oh, hold up. All right, so I want to get, I can't leave, this is like one of those details that got to happen. All right, so I'm going to push pull this back down to here, offset that out like that, push, whoops, push pull that up to here, bring this up to here, and then got like a circle here in the middle. All right. That is our rough burrow geometry. Did not call it burrows that time. I'm learning. All right. Sebastian, I am using a handful of extensions so far. Was there anything in particular you were thinking would have helped what I just did? I'm going to go to Solid Tools, and I'm just going to start joining the big pieces together. I'll work my way up, adding these together. I don't think this is solid right now. Some of these might need a little bit more cleanup than others to get them solid. Ooh, that worked. I keep saying things like that, and then, oh, see, now this is not, let's see. That was easy. No, that wasn't easy. Hop inside here real quick. All right, whoops. Let's keep working our way up. Here's another big chunk. I'm gonna solid tool that back to the base. This is not currently solid, so we'll run solid inspector, some internal faces and a reverse face, and we're solid. I'm gonna save because this is going way too smooth. I don't know. Maybe I've already, I put my time in. I fix. Solid group. Just working my way up here, joining one group to the mass after another. This is, oh, it's not even a group. That'll do it. Now it's a group. All right, this is not solid, so we'll run solid inspector again. I'll let this guy up here. Fix, fix. Whoa, 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 whoa. Undo. Not cool, solid inspector. So sometimes, just throw this out there, you guys may find this with solid inspector. It is an awesome tool. I would call it an indispensable tool. I use it all the time, even for stuff that doesn't need to be solid. I like to try to make it solid, but I will say that sometimes it makes a decision that maybe I don't always want it to do, like this right here. Its solution for this was to delete all of this, which I get how it came to that decision, but yeah, you do have to watch it. Don't just assume that hitting make solid is going to fix everything. It's a possibility that making stuff solid will make things worse. All right, I don't think, yeah, this doesn't quite come inside, so I'm gonna click onto this, make this shade piece bigger. I think everything else comes inside, doesn't it? Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna make that a group. That's solid. I'm gonna make all of this a group, which I think this is gonna be my problem child. I'm guessing. Yeah. All right, so we still have problems with this little monster. So again, the issue had to do with how these tied down. I think it's because my original geometry is broken up. I don't know. I'm gonna do the quickest possible solution I can think of, which is to grab all of these and delete them. We've talked about this. I've talked about this many times. How far do you go to fix a problem? And maybe it's because I have a background in software testing. I generally don't just let things go when they don't perform the way I want. I have a habit of chasing things that I should probably just leave alone. But sometimes it is quicker to just get rid of something that's not working rather than try to fix it. And if you've watched this show before, you may know that I'm saying that right now, fully aware that that is still something I too have to work on. All right, so I'm gonna get rid of these extra lines underneath. And then what I'll do is I'll hop up top and turn those circles, empty circles, into full circles. I'm just gonna trace just a teeny bit of each corner or each edge, and that's gonna close that circle. And once that circle is closed, then I can use push-pull to pull that down, and I'll make sure each one absolutely connects with the other. I think, did I use copy on that rather than push-pulling each one individually? I think that may have been where it all started to fall apart. And actually, I don't need this last one. It's buried inside. All right, I'm gonna take that down to the edge, and that, look at that, see, that meets perfectly. So I should be able to double-click the same thing there. Double-click, double-click, double-click. Whoa, that was a long way around. Looks good. Okay, so I'm just gonna continue across here and close all of that. And once I'm done with that, I want to push this beam in just a little bit like that. And same thing over here. So I have a little bit of a detail on the shelf right there. Same thing there. All right, and now I'm going to click on it, run solid inspector. There we go. So rather than trying to clean all that up, so right now I have these as two solids inside another group. I will need to explode that out for solid tools to work. And then I can say, grab this one and union that with this, awesome, with this. It may seem like I'm not going after these on purpose, and that is true. I don't have a lot of confidence in these either. These got a little weird, so let's see. Yeah. I think I have the same problem. Look at this. None of these join up. if I come in here and just connect them, I might get lucky. Yeah, so they are joining now. I totally rushed through this piece. This one's on me. All right, so if I do that, now is that enough to make that solid? So there's still faces inside there, so it's not a solid yet. But if I click this and all it has is internal faces, nope, not that lucky. There's still more stuff going on. Let's see. I got the same thing going on at the top. So at the top, I also don't. How did oh, I copied that. Yeah, I guess the moral of the story here is if you're gonna do something like this, copy the shape on the flat and just double click to pull the pieces together. All right, solid inspector. Now I can just delete those pieces. Rather than doing that, well, so I gotta figure out what's quicker now. I'm just gonna delete these two. Replace this one. Rotate that in line again. There we go. And I'll copy that one from here to here. Not quite long enough, so I'm just going to scale that, get it into the wall. This one ended up being different. This is when I had to delete stuff out of, so I'm going to actually open up that one. Ooh, look at that. Got some ugly geometry in here. Delete that, and then just real quick, force the intersection between these surfaces, and then that will also, I'll also have to do that on the top, because I did just the bottom. Just run through the top super fast, and then let Solid Inspector wipe out all my internal faces. Okay, there we go.
All right. Looking good.
Oh, but look at this. When I can't back up, but when I joined all this together, my posts that came down, it pulled them up. So what Solid Inspector did was it saw I had a rectangle here, I had a rectangle inside this rectangle, and another one coming out the bottom. So its decision was to pull that all the way up.
Interesting.
Yeah, so what I'll have to do is grab that square and this square and go from top to bottom. That should break that surface. And now I can grab that and pull that down into the roof. I can't use merge tools now because I'm inside of a single solid. So what I'll have to do is grab just these faces right here, right click, intersect face with selection, hop inside, and then delete, 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 and then erase these pieces, this, and this. All right. All right, so now if I exit back out, I should have these solids ready to merge with this guy, with this, with this, with this. All right, and we got one big solid. I want to say solid, but it really is a solid. I mean, it's crazy. It's perhaps unattractive to some, but it's solid. All right, what do we got? What time is it? 3:06. All right, I'm gonna throw in, I'm gonna put windows on here. That's the end of that statement. I'm gonna put some windows on here. And I'm gonna do this fairly, I'm gonna try to keep this as simple as possible. So where I can, I'm gonna try to grab shapes like this. I'm gonna offset like that, and then the window's actually just this square right here. And then I'm going to, that's what I'm doing right there. I'm gonna go, oops, come in here, do that, double click, So I have mentioned this in the past as well. That's fine, that looks great as a window, but if I was to take us anywhere, render it, 3D print it, anything like that, of course, I would end up with nothing there because there's no depth to it. So what I would like to do is probably something like this. Pull this one out a little bit and maybe push the windows in just a touch. So it's a teeny bit of offset like that, gives it some depth, and it looks more like a window than just some lines drawn on the face. This rectangle's going the wrong way. I'll take that, scoot it up, and grab the whole thing. Like that. Some windows right here. These are going to be rough because what they do is they're not perpendicular to the axes. They're off axes. That's about right. All right. Do the same thing over on this side because I think, well, that's got two sets. So there's some cool detail I wanted to put on here, but I don't know if I'm going to have time for it all today. So my line's disappearing in here. I think I have a break in my geometry. So if I go to View, Hidden Geometry, yeah, I got a couple breaks in my geometry. I got an issue or two. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to right now, I'm going to put that line on there, knowing that stuff gets broken. I'm going to be okay with that. I'm going to be okay with that. All right. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to come in here and delete all of that beautifulness I put in there. And then I'm going to stitch this back together like that. Oh, what's going on down here? What's your deal? Oh, got a break there too. There we go. Pull that up to there. And then I can actually just, in here too. So any place this breaks is going to be a break in the surface. So I do have to come in and do, oh, nuts. I did not click to the face. There you go. And then I can just Option erase these lines. It'll smooth that back out again, but I'll still have the ability to take this now. That's going to be a single piece that I can then work on. It's not quite as simple because it's a little out of plane. So I can't just offset it to put my window in. But speaking of, somebody was asking about extensions. One of my favorite extensions is vertex tools, which actually I've mapped to the V key. And one of the things that we have in vertex tools is the ability to make planar. So if I click this button, it actually pushes stuff around so that this is a single plane. It caused a little bit of an issue there because it did break these other surfaces, so I'm going to undo real quick. I'm going to isolate that just ever so slightly by doing this. I'm going to offset this first, because this does have to get offset because there's a window frame here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to put the same window detail I did on the other one. Offset both of these. And then, actually I think that's all it does, just one vertical window, yeah. Delete this, pull this out a little bit, push these in a little bit, and once I've done that, then I'm going to select these and use vertex tools to make them planar. Because it's going to have to, when you take something and move it out of, or take two surfaces and make them planar, they're going to pull something else out of plane. So what I was doing before when I did that originally, it pulled this one out of plane, so then I had the same problem on the other side. This I'm okay with. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to offset. Oops. Offset up to here. Draw a line in the middle point to middle point. I'm gonna take this one, offset it. I'm gonna click here, and then I'm gonna use vertically. I'm just gonna use this line over here. Then I can double click on this surface to do the same thing. All right, and then I'll pull this out a little. I'll push these in. Get rid of that line. There we go. So now if I get rid of my hidden geometry, there we go. I might do, there's a little bit of cleanup that I feel like I want to do, but I'm not too worried about it, to clean up this corner right here. But yeah, it's something I could do. One could. All right, so this over here looks ugly, but this is actually going to be pretty simple because these lines are actually straight. So what I got is a window that comes across and then the bottom starts to angle down. This is kind of cool because what's happening here is, I guess this would be an optical illusion. So I'm going to take a line across like that, find the middle, and then before I do anything else, I'm just going to pull this one straight down like that. And then I'll put those same window details in here. I'll offset. I could actually, if I wanted to, I could actually reference that same geometry, but I'm just going to do this. Put that vertical line in there again. Offset that again. 3 times, 4 times. Erase that, erase that. And actually, I want to get a little bit of a break. Again, like we were talking about, just relief between this geometry. So I'm going to do that. Then when I pull this out and this out, there'll be obvious separate geometry. So there is the front. Maybe I'll work on that. Let's get all the windows into the front of the Burrow. So that means I need a window here where I don't have anything, and then some serious windows up here. So I got 8 windows here. I'm gonna start.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you please?
Apparently something I said sounded like, "Hey Siri," because my phone just started looking up windows. She's always listening, man.
It's kind of creepy if you ask me that our phones are listening to us so much these days.
I cannot argue with that. It's all the time. She's always listening. Trying to be helpful. I just don't know. All right, so I got 8 windows going on up here. So I'm following, because I have that distortion, I'm just following the distorted faces I already have. And I'm going to take these windows and just one at a time, double click each one to offset the same amount. And then I will get rid of these lines in the middle. There we go. So now again, I have the outside frame I can pull in, and the inside windows I can pull the frame out, push the windows in. That's what I was shooting for. Right. So there we go. So that's something like that. Right here, I got just a double window. Do that. Offset that like that. I'm just going to middle points again because it's not as straightforward as straight lines. There's because no straight lines. All right, so the last one, this one's in plane with this thing. And then I got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 windows there. So I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna draw a line from this point parallel to that line. And again, actually I want that to go along like that though. Oh, killing me, man. Come on, draw a line, draw a line, Draw the line. Shift and pull that long. There we go. All right, something's not. Oh. Well, there's your problem. All right, let's try that again. Draw perpendicular to that line. Turns out SketchUp was right all along. I can parallel to this line. How's that? Would you do that for me? There we go. Okay. And now it's simple. Now we get that in there. You can offset that. What's 12 windows? And here, if I draw that down, it's going to only give me 8. I need 3 across. So I'm going to select the line, right-click, divide to 3. I'll have to do the same thing on the bottom because I'm not going to try to inference that weird line. You know, it's funny because lines are way easier to inference if they are the further they are away from a normal inferencing point, the easier they are to do. If they're real close, it can get rough. It can mess with you. All right. All right, and I'll take that, pull that out, push each of these windows in real quick. Nice. I mean, in a weird, not nice way. There's a little bit of a sill on this one, so not that I've been worried about this kind of detail, but I'm going to grab this right here, Option, and pull it down. Extend it out this way. Extend out this way. Pull it this way. There we go. Man, that's something. That's horrible. That's awesome. I mean, it's a really cool thing, but man.
It was painful at the start, but just look at this now. It's amazing.
That was a little bit of a struggle. So yeah, I'm not gonna do all of the rest of the windows. Not that I don't want to. It's just it's coming up on 3:30, and yeah, and that's my reason why. But pretty cool, and that definitely turned out pretty neat. Normally I want to get the thing so that it's ready to post right now and give it to you guys, and that's what I've generally been doing is not a whole lot of post work. So once I turn the camera off, not much happens. I usually just save it and upload it to Warehouse, but I think I'm going to set this aside maybe over the weekend, 3-day weekend. I might actually spend some time adding the rest of the windows and adding a little detail, but if I do that, I will be honest with you guys, and I will put how much time I spent to do that before I posted it. So if it takes me another hour to do that, I will, in the comments, say 1 hour after the camera's turned off to get that in there. But yeah, I think this is definitely, this is the non-straightest building I've ever modeled. And it was a little more challenging than I was expecting. When I started it, I looked at these images and I'm like, oh, look at this. That goes that way. This is all straight from this side. It's got a little bit of a tilt this way. I'm like, yeah, it's no big deal. And then actually, I think it was yesterday morning, I went, wait a minute, what's going on here? I don't like this. But yeah, it really, really turned out as a thing. So there we go. That is the Burrow thus far. I'll spend a little time on it. I'll post it. And like I said, if you guys want to go in and put materials on there or whatever you like, that will be your prerogative once I get that up there on the Warehouse. Until then, so we do have a couple more of these planned right now. We will be back here next week. We will be, because it was demanded, actually it was one of the first comments on here too, we're gonna shoot for a subdivided Baby Yoda. So this is one of those things that I agreed to in a moment of weakness. I'm like, oh, Baby Yoda, yeah, he's fun, let's do that. I'm gonna do my best to not turn the cutest thing out there into a monster. That's gonna be my goal. I don't know, because we've done some subdivision characters and some of them turned out okay. I think Olaf was,
Olaf
it was
fine.
all right. We did some Toy Story stuff, and I'd say that was marginal. That was not terrible. One of the first things we did was that dude's face we pulled off of Google, and that was downright horrifying. So
We're getting better at it, though.
yeah, that's right. That's true. It is an upward arc, so maybe it is now's the time to actually touch something that is dear to many people. So yes, come back next week. And Titus is happy about seeing Sub D, not necessarily Yoda. Well, this will please multiple people. We'll make Yoda people happy, and we'll make Sub D people happy. We'll have everybody. Lenny is saying that we may need another set of posts under this porch here. Yeah, I believe that is probably fairly true in more than one place. I'm pretty sure this is like a 2x8 right here. That's strong stuff. There is actually a little tie back here, so that'll help. And it looks like, you know what actually I think is going on right here? I think this section right here actually angles back. It's hard to tell, but you know what?
Oh boy.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's actually a pretty easy thing to do with where we have them all right now. Let me, oh no, I don't want to undo, because edit, redo, edit, redo, edit, redo. What that would consist of is, that really wouldn't be that bad, because this is in plane. Put this back, put this back, and put this back. I'm going to erase all this. All I would have to do is, let's say I'm going to do it right here to right here. I'm going to connect that point to that point, and I'm going to connect this point to this point and delete this.
It's not so bad.
No. Totally knew that wasn't me so bad. Totally felt confident about that. All right. And then I could offset that again. All right, and then pull that out a little ways. Push these in a little ways. Cool. So yeah, wow, that was, see, no big deal, MBD. Because I was looking, it does have this this curved piece going from here up to here, which I thought was odd, that I have a thing like that. And it's not just straight either, it's actually kind of arcing like that. There we go. All right, I gotta stop modeling. It's time to be done, me. I'm just not listening to myself very well today. All right, so yeah. There we go. I can't stop. That was not what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. something like that. Whoops. That's not right either because it kind of goes at an angle because I can see it over here. But anyhow, yeah, so I'll throw some windows in here. I'll spend a little bit more time on it, but not a whole lot. And then we will come back next week, next Friday, and we will try to keep Baby Yoda cute and model him in 3D. 2 challenges, not just modeling a green thing with big ears. And I have a theory that I think is going to prove out about Baby Yoda and the Mogwai. I got a subtle theory that I think modeling Baby Yoda in white might shed some light on some other cute little creatures. So we will be back here at noon Mountain Time. So adjust for wherever in the world you are for what time that'll be, and we will get started promptly and we will get modeling. So once again, thank you all for showing up. Thank you, Casey, for helping out.
Happy to be here as always. Not much for me to do today, but it was a fun process to watch all the same.
I appreciate that. I mean, you guys are so good out there. Yes, that's it. So thank you for watching. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you hanging out with us. It's the best way to end the week, in my opinion. If you are in the U.S., happy MLK Day on Monday, and we will see you all next week. Thank you.